What if the sweetest little girl you knew suddenly began speaking in a voice that wasn't her own and claimed something ancient was living inside her? It started on a quiet Sunday morning in Hartford, Connecticut, a peaceful small town where everyone knew each other, and nothing dark ever seemed to happen. The Wallace family, Rebecca, Daniel, and their 14-year-old daughter Emily, lived a simple, content life in a modest white 2-story home with a squeaky swing in the yard and laughter echoing through the hallways. Church on Sundays, family dinners at 6, bedtime stories, and smiles. But peace has a habit of fading quietly before chaos begins. One night, Rebecca passed by Emily's room and heard whispers. Expecting her daughter on a call, she peeked in, but Emily was alone, sitting cross-legged, murmuring strange words in a language Rebecca didn't recognize. When asked, Emily smiled faintly and said, "Just my friend." Rebecca brushed it off as imagination. Daniel, though, noticed something different. Emily's bright drawings of flowers and stars turned into dark sketches, shadowed figures looming over children, twisted crosses, and watchful eyes. When he asked who they were, Emily said coldly, "They protect me." The house grew strange. Faint tapping came from the attic. Floorboards creaked even when no one moved. One night, from a baby monitor long packed away, Rebecca heard faint words through the static. "She's mine." The sound chilled her to the bone. Daniel dismissed it as interference, but both of them could feel something wasn't right. As the days turned colder, Emily changed further. She'd stare at corners as if someone were standing there. She laughed at nothing, whispered in guttural tones, and stopped eating altogether. At dinner one evening, Rebecca asked what she was saying under her breath. Emily looked up slowly and whispered, "He doesn't like questions." Rebecca began journaling every odd occurrence, the flickering lights, sudden cold drafts, the family cat refusing to enter Emily's room. One night she recorded Emily murmuring in her sleep. But when she played it back, a man's voice overlapped the recording, low, ancient, and angry. Sleep became impossible. At the same time each night, 3:15 a.m., Rebecca found Emily standing at the top of the stairs, unmoving, humming a tune no one recognized. Doctors found nothing wrong. Every medical test came back clean. That was what scared Rebecca most, because if medicine had no answers, something else surely did. Desperate, she tried to pray over Emily as she slept. But before she could finish the words, Emily's eyes opened. Her voice, sharp and chilling, broke the silence. "He doesn't like when you do that." That was when Rebecca finally admitted to herself, whatever lived inside her daughter wasn't her daughter anymore. One night, soft footsteps echoed through the hallway. When Rebecca opened her eyes, Emily stood at the foot of their bed. Her head tilted, her arms dangled loosely at her sides. In a voice that wasn't hers, she whispered, "He's coming tonight." Rebecca bolted upright, breath frozen. "Who's coming?" she asked. Emily's lips twisted into a grin. "You'll see," she said, and quietly walked away. Moments later, Daniel heard scratching from the attic. Thinking it was rats, he pulled open the hatch, but the air that met him was icy. The smell of rot hit like a punch. His flashlight flickered across wooden beams, and there, carved deep into the wall, were the words, "Shall we begin?" The letters glistened dark red, still wet in spots. After that night, the house felt alive. Lights flickered, doors slammed without wind. At one point, Rebecca found every cross in the house turned upside down. Emily grew worse. Her voice layered, words tangled in strange tongues, her back bending in ways no body should move. She screamed if Rebecca tried to pray. Her room smelled of sulfur, like something burned but never died. When Father Cooper from St. Mary's arrived, Emily was waiting. She sat on the floor, head down, whispering. The priest's footsteps slowed as he stepped inside. "What is your name?" he asked. Emily looked up. Her eyes were black, her voice a haunting chorus of child and man. "We are many. it said. The air turned heavy, the lights flickered once, and a low growl rumbled through the room. Rebecca clutched Daniel's arm, trembling. Father Cooper tightened his grip on the cross. "Leave her," he commanded. But Emily only laughed, a shrill, broken sound that echoed through the whole house as the shadow behind her stretched taller and darker. The air in Emily's room turned icy. Father Cooper's breath fogged as though winter had crept inside. Emily's body lifted slowly from the bed, hovering a few inches in the air. Her screams weren't human. They echoed in multiple tones, shaking the walls and rattling the window panes. Rebecca fell to her knees beside the bed, crying out her daughter's name, clutching Daniel's arm with desperate strength. The priest raised his cross, voice trembling but firm as he began the rite. Emily thrashed violently, the lights flickering, the room filling with a deep thunder-like growl. Then, in one bone-shaking instant, everything stopped. The laughter, the movement, the air itself went still. Emily dropped back onto the bed, her body twitching, eyes rolled white. Father Cooper's voice rose in a final prayer, forcing each word against the lingering roar in the air. And then, silence. The lights flickered back to life. Emily gasped and sat up, her eyes soft blue again, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Mom?" she whispered. Rebecca rushed forward and wrapped her arms around her, sobbing in relief. Emily clung to her mother's chest, trembling, her voice small and frightened, like a child waking from a nightmare. For the first time in weeks, she sounded human again. As Father Cooper packed his things, Daniel, pale and shaken, asked quietly, "Is it over?" The priest paused, glancing toward the corner of the room where the shadows seemed thicker than they should have been. After a long silence, he murmured, "For now." Days passed. The family tried to rebuild their normal life. Meals together, laughter forced but hopeful. But peace never fully returned. Some nights Rebecca would wake to a faint humming, the same lullaby Emily used to sing when she was 4. It drifted down from the attic. One night, she followed the sound. The attic was dark, colder than the rest of the house. Her flashlight trembled as she panned across the wooden beams. On the far wall, fresh markings glistened in the light. Words scraped violently into the wood read, "You can't cast out what was invited." Her heart sank. She remembered that first night, the whispers Emily claimed were just a friend, the secret conversations, the laughter in the dark. As realization hit, something tapped once, twice, from inside the walls behind her. Rebecca froze. The flashlight flickered, and in that instant of darkness she swore she heard a whisper close to her ear. "Still here. Because evil never truly leaves, it just waits for the lights to go out again." Sometimes the scariest thing isn't losing someone you love. It's realizing something else has already taken their place. If you believe real evil exists, hit that subscribe button for more true horror tales. And remember, some innocence can't be restored.